what's the big deal with this new launch? It is a big deal because Hourglass makes amazing powders. So when it launches a new powder that claims to blur pores, minimize lines, and keep you flawless looking all day, we pay attention. Hello everyone, I'm Fabi. Today we're gonna be doing 2 full day wear tests where we examine this powder's ability to blur imperfections and control shine. We're gonna see if it can resist creasing into our lines. We're gonna put it side by side, tested with the Huda Easy Bake Loose powder. It blurs, it controls oils really well. So just to see how good this Hourglass powder really is, yeah, we're gonna put it head to head with this one. I'm particularly excited about this product because me being 44 years old and having a skin type that's normal to dry, I'm looking for products that don't settle into my lines and that won't dry me out. And it's talc free, which is great for those of you with sensitive skin because it contains ingredients that are more gentle on your skin. It's also vegan and cruelty free. Before we jump into the wear tests, I want you to see what the powder looks like when applied to bare skin. Aside from moisturizer, we're starting with a clean slate here. Notice the instant blurring effect. This got me really excited. At first glance, it's looking like it's just as effective as the Huda powder or the Givenchy powder when it comes to blurring. It's giving us that soft focus look so far. Let's jump into our first wear test. The purpose of this test is going to be to see how the powder interacts with different base products. So on one side of my face, I'm putting on the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation, and on the other side, the Hourglass Skin Tint. I wanted to see how the Hourglass powder is going to handle base products with different finishes, especially the skin tint, because gives you a dewy finish. It could get cakey. Now I'm gonna use the Hourglass powder to set both sides of the face. On this side, I'm applying the powder on top of the skin tint. Let's see how the powder works when you're aiming for that dewy everyday look. It's important to see if the powder is able to set a more luminous base without killing the glow or gathering in drier patches. Initially, both sides look seamlessly blurred and smooth. However, after just 3 hours, you can see that the powder is starting to settle into fine lines and pores, especially around the T-zone and under the eye. So I'm gonna touch up the powder. Let's pretend that I'm on the go. What I would do, I would take my finger and just kind of buff out whatever's settling here into the lines. The under eyes, let's see if we can get them to look less creasy. I just swiped it twice. I'm not going really heavy with it. And I'm just gonna press it here in the areas that I want to mattify. And you do see how immediately it mattifies things and it gives me a blurred appearance. Did you see that on my forehead? All right, that looks fantastic. Or anything. Wow, that's looking really nice. This is the last check-in, 9:08. As you can see, makeup continued to collect in these lines. By the end of the day, truly the powder underwhelmed me. The creasing was there. I looked shiny, so it didn't give me the oil control that I was hoping for. It didn't have any trouble handling the more dewy finish of the skin tint compared to the foundation, so that's nice. There was no caking up or anything, but I was very disappointed with both the creasing under my eyes and around my mouth. It is now day 2, and this is where things get interesting. We're doing another full day wear test. This time, I'm gonna be putting the foundation all over my face. So we're gonna have the same base on both sides of the face. However, on the left side, I'll be using the Hourglass powder to set my face. And on the right side, I will be using the Huda Easy Bake Loose powder. Again, I'm fully aware that I am comparing apples to oranges here. This being a pressed powder, this being a loose powder. But I'm very intrigued and I want to see how they stack up, especially considering the price point. This retails for $54 versus $38. That's a big price difference. And Hourglass, being that it is so much more expensive, you would think that it wouldn't need any help for it to perform better than it did yesterday. But I felt that after yesterday's results, it needed help. So what I did was that after I applied the foundation, I put on some setting spray. Then I took a damp sponge and I pressed it onto the skin to lock everything in. Then I set my face with the powders. And after that, I went back in with a setting spray and again, damp sponge and pressing it into the skin, and that tells you just how much I thought that the powder needed help. However, after just 2.5 hours after application, I could already see a difference. On the Hourglass side, you can see that it's starting to settle into my under eye lines and my smile lines. And again, for $54, this is super disappointing. Now the Huda side continues to perform spectacularly. No creasing, no settling, just smooth. The makeup looks intact. Now, both powders are controlling oil really well, but so far we're getting more of a flawless look with the loose powder. So Huda clearly takes the lead. Now it was time for the official midday check-in. We're 5 hours into the wear test. On the left, where I've got the Hourglass powder, unfortunately, it's letting us down a bit. The smile lines have become more pronounced and there's noticeable creasing under the eyes. Even from a distance, it's quite visible. I was in the kitchen with my husband and I was standing about 8 feet away from him and I asked him, how does my makeup look? And he was able to tell me, oh, I noticed creasing on this side. So that confirmed that the creasing was indeed pretty noticeable. Now looking at the Huda side, it's still smooth, it's still holding strong. It's exactly what we need for a long day. Both powders continue to do great with oil control. We're not looking shiny at all. Now we're jumping to the nighttime check-in, and this is where things get interesting. So far, the Hourglass side has been having issues the whole day, and they've been getting increasingly worse as the day goes on. So I'm looking at my makeup in the mirror, and it was weird that the creasing had actually mellowed out. It had become less noticeable. It's almost like it settled in and it kind of like melded with my skin. Both the creases under the eyes and the line around my mouth, everything looked smoother. Not as smooth as the other side, but smoother than it did a few hours ago. That I was not expecting. So I took the list of ingredients and I did some research, and this is what I found. It turns out the combination of ingredients like silica and I don't know how to pronounce these ingredients, and boron nitride, which are fantastic for soaking up oils, along with some skin-friendly silicones like phenyl, trimethicone, and dimethicone, helps the powder to eventually blend better with the skin's natural oils. It says, these ingredients create a smoother layer over time, which can reduce the appearance of those early creases. Basically, you can see that your makeup is creasing, and instead of it continuously getting worse throughout the day, there's a possibility that it'll just start getting better all of a sudden. Well, that's what happens with this powder, and that's fantastic that eventually it does look smoother, but who wants that? I want a powder that is predictable and that is going to look good from the moment I put it on, and it will be long wearing and it will perform just as well or even better than other powders in the market. Now, if we look at the right side, the Huda side, that side is still looking fabulous. It has been working consistently well. There's been no ups and downs, like it looks kind of weird right now and then in 2 hours it looks better. It's looked good the entire time. So I got a tip for you. If you can do without a beautiful packaging compact like this one, we saw that this one performs exceptionally well. Get a puff, get some powder on it, and get a little Ziploc bag. Put it inside the Ziploc bag and carry that in your purse. And that way you can use that puff to touch up throughout the day. All right, let's get into the pros and cons. And who I think this product is for and who should stay away from this product. Ingredients: if you're looking for a powder without talc, that is vegan, cruelty-free, if you're looking for that blurred effect, if you don't have any texture on your skin, if you don't have any under eye concerns, and you're looking for oil control, a beautiful packaging experience to interact with, and you don't mind the price, you might want to check out this powder. However, if you need a powder that performs well throughout the day, then this powder might not be for you, and it tends to settle into fine lines initially, although it improves over time. It's also not ideal for setting under the eyes. Now I say that, remember that I never used a brush to set under the eyes. I used a puff. And a puff is gonna pack a lot more product than a brush would. So perhaps it would work for the under eyes. Now there's gonna be a powder out there in the market that performs just as well as this Huda Beauty Loose powder. If you know of one that's your favorite, that works for you, that blurs, it doesn't crease on you, let me know in the comments because I would love to try it. I hope this review has given you some clear insights and helps you make an informed decision as to whether you want to pick up this powder or not. You know, makeup is deeply personal, and maybe this powder works for you. If you have had a good experience with this powder, please let us know in the comments, along with your skin type and age, if you don't mind sharing. Thank you for joining me. If you found this video helpful, remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.